Okay, folks, here we are. We're going to make a new video about how to assemble a bench. And we've got our student here who's arriving at the scene shop. This is Ellie, our volunteer, as you can see from her shirt. She's going to come in, she's going to take her bag off, put her bag down somewhere here in this area by the door. She's going to move to the next station. She's going to obtain her PPE. You probably don't need hearing protection for this. Then we're going to go to the table here. Ellie forgot her boards. Going to come to the cart. She's going to find her boards in the stack of bench parts, and then she's going to come over here. We're going to have several of these stations set up for you, and each station will have a variety of things for you. First, it'll have the drawing. It has all the information about the dimensions that you need. Then we'll have a pencil and a combination square and a tape measure. Well, you need the you need the tape measure for later. And then screws and a screwdriver bit, a drill with a pilot bit in it, a bottle of glue, and this cool board screwed down to the table. And we'll get to that in just a minute. So, Ellie, what's the first step that we're going to do?
First, we have to mark our pieces.
Got it.
So we have to decide which you want the top, which side you want to be the top, and which is going to be the bottom.
Right.
And you want to mark the top piece on the bottom. Yeah?
Correct. You want to make all your marks for where your screw holes go on the bottom of the board.
Bottom.
And then she's going to pull her legs up. And how do we figure out which part, where we put the holes in the legs?
Need
kind
them
of
to
off
be
camera.
going.
Move over.
Oh.
There you go.
You need them to be going the right way. So not that. That way.
There you go.
Then you mark these on the outside.
Okay.
So.
She put a little X there so she knows which is the side that she's going to put the marks on. Now she's going to read the drawing and find which dimensions, the dimensions for all the holes.
So we need 3/8.
My exquisite camera skills here. So she's going to set the combination square for 3/8 of an inch. She's loosening up the little thumb screw there and sliding the ruler over. And there's marks on the ruler that you can't see on the camera, which she can barely see in real life.
Maybe I need glasses.
Well, no, it's not you, it's the ruler.
Okay.
And then she's gonna remember the drill trick.
Yeah.
So she's gonna throw the drill on there just as ballast, so that the thing isn't moving around while she's trying to make her marks.
So if I'm making this one, can they see this part?
I'll move the camera a bit. So she's gonna hold the ruler at the end of the pencil at the end of the ruler and slide the combination square along, making a light mark. Don't make a really heavy mark, because then your bench will be ugly. And she's gonna turn it around. The drill is there just as ballast to keep the board from moving around while she's making the mark on it. Oh, watch out for bumpy spots. Okay, so you kind of got the idea what she's doing there. Now she's gonna she made her 3/8 inch marks on the sides of her top, and now she's gonna make them on the sides of her legs. Oh, look, she did so well. Notice she just made a short mark there at the top where the holes are gonna be, not all the way down the whole side. Okay? Second one. She's gonna have, oh man, look, she's so expert. Notice she's using a very light touch so the leg isn't moving around while she's making the mark. Okay.
All right.
What's the next step, Ellie?
Now I need to make some more marks.
Make a bunch more marks. Holy cow, who would have guessed?
So I'm gonna set it for 3.5 to do this distance.
I wouldn't do that. I'd set it for 1 7/8.
Oh, and do this one.
Yeah.
You're right.
So she's going to set it for 1 7/8. Oh, we shouldn't be telling them the numbers because they should read the drawing and get their own numbers.
We're gonna make the mark for these ones.
There you go. I don't know if they could see that, what you were pointing out on the drawing, but they'll see when you make the marks on the board. She proved to be enough of an expert. She doesn't need that ballast there.
I can put it back on for
There you go.
demonstration's sake. Okay.
She's going to drag a line, just like in the middle half of that board. Oops, there's stuff in the road. Middle half of that board. There you go. Brilliant. Again, notice how the mark is a very light mark. It's not a huge, heavy mark. It doesn't really matter. It's just that, you know, these marks are going to be on the bench, and if you ever want to finish it or anything, or just keep it, use it as is, it's going to have a bunch of marks all over the outside of it. Now she's resetting for, I don't even know what the number is. Yeah, for that distance.
Oh, and this was what she was saying about
Yeah, so now she's going to make a mark here, just a little tick mark. She doesn't need a big line there. She just needs a point to where to drill the drill hole. Okay, now spin it around. She's going to make the mark on the other corner, on the opposite corner. Now she's going to flip it over, make the mark there. Yep. She's going to spin the board around, make the fourth mark. So now she's marked all 4 of those holes. Ta-da! I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah. And then she's going to reset no, you still have 4 more marks to make on the top.
You're right.
The reset for the other dimension. You can do all this with a tape measure, but the combination square makes it so much faster.
If you can read it. No, it's fine.
Yeah, if you can read the inch marks on the ruler there. Spin. Mark. Flip.
Flip this?
Yes.
There's already a mark here. Did I do that?
I don't know. Did you do that? Did you spin and flip at the same time?
Maybe I did.
It doesn't matter how you arrive there. As long as you wind up with 8 marks on the top of for pilot holes on the top of the bench. So now she's marked all 8 of the holes in that bench. Now she needs to mark the ones on the sides. Reference your drawing, find your measurements. Figure that out.
Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, you should not say it because
then they won't know.
They won't know. They won't remember the YouTube video.
All right.
They might, but who knows? The goal is to make them read the drawing.
Nice. Can they see the drawing right now?
Sort of.
We're doing these.
No, they can't. Yeah, they couldn't see that part.
Oh. These.
These measurements. I think we lost about half of them already. They probably went to sleep.
That's all right.
Or switched to 2 times speed by now. Okay, and make sure you mark both legs when you have that each dimension set on the combination square. Ta-da! Okay,
Alright.
now she's marked all 16 of the holes. Oh, I didn't do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yep, 16 holes. So now she needs to pre-drill all of these holes. And that's why there's this board. Whoa, camera board. There's a board screwed down to the table at each workstation. When you arrive, the drill is going to have a drill bit in it, maybe in second gear. Show them, yeah, you can see the number 2 on the top of the drill there. Make sure that switch is switched so you can see the number 2, because you want to spin the drill bit really fast when you're drilling holes. And you can then just drill a hole where each mark is. She's lining it up. Okay. That was almost expert, but you know, that board jumped a little bit. So make sure you hold the board down really good. Line the drill bit up with the mark really good. Push the drill bit down through the board. And then just keep the drill bit spinning while you push it in and take it out. criticism I would offer right now is that you're not spinning the drill bit fast enough
Yeah.
and you're pushing too hard. Let the drill bit do the work. Okay, see how that tear out? The faster you spin the bit, the less of that tear out you'll have, the smoother, cleaner your hole will be. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. There you go. And the whole reason we have this board here screwed down to the table so you don't drill 50 holes in my table every time you build a bench. Look, that was that. Those are the legs. Now we're gonna do the top. Drill like the wind.
Well, that wasn't straight. That's
Yeah,
okay.
notice how she had drilled that at kind of an angle.
That one wasn't straight.
One of the goals is to make sure that the drill bit is perfectly perpendicular to the plane of the top, so so the pilot hole is exactly perpendicular to that, straight up and down. Okay, now you're done with that. The next step is to change your drill bit out for the screwdriver. Notice there's a pile of screws and a screwdriver bit there. She's gonna loosen the chuck on the drill with her gorilla strength. Come on, other way.
Yeah, but it won't go anyway.
You get it?
Yeah.
There you go. Take the drill bit out. Loosen the chuck up enough that you can get the screwdriver bit in there. It's got a hex-shaped shank on it. Make sure that you get the 3 of the 6 sides of the hex shape lined up with the 3 teeth on the jaw of the chuck. Tighten it up really
Is
good.
that not good enough?
No, you went the wrong way out.
No, but that?
Yeah, no, that looks great.
Okay.
Make sure that the chuck clicks whenever you do that, and then switch it back into first gear, okay? And now you're ready to start putting glue on things.
Which side do I want to do first?
I don't know,
Oh,
that's up to you. So she's gonna pick one end. Yep,
Well, wouldn't you want,
doesn't matter which one, where you start,
except this is set up,
but you got the wrong board.
Hmm?
You're putting the side, the top
Oh,
is
you're
last.
right, you're right, okay. I know what I'm talking about.
She's an expert, so she's gonna go get one of her sides, or both of them. And she's gonna put glue on one end, just a little bit, not a ton. That's probably still too much, but you want a very thin bed of glue. Notice how she's smearing it around with her finger. And so she's got too much, so she's softening it up, and then she's just gonna wipe it on the underside of the table. Show them how to do
I
it,
was
Ellie.
just gonna throw it on this,
You could do that,
because you're gonna do that anyway.
right. Hopefully it's not too dried out by the time you get back to it. And notice how she just rubbed her hands together to get the extra glue off her hands? It'll just ball up like rubber cement if you just have a little bit on your fingers.
That's great.
So she's gonna put that together. Notice she's smearing it all over the place and getting glue everywhere. Ideally, you would plunk it together and there would not be any extra glue
Now you just,
all over the place. The other criticism I would offer is to put the screws in the holes before you make this step.
okay.
Just finger get them, put them in there and just give them a turn with your finger so they're ready to go before you put glue on anything. Okay, so now she's gonna line it up really carefully. Notice how she's got the board, the sideboard pushed against the piece of wood the scrap of wood that we have attached to the table for her. And she's using that just as a, something to steady what she's doing. So she's lined that all up nice and good.
Oh gosh.
Well, she had it.
Moved it again.
Yep. And then she's gonna grab the drill. She's gonna start putting that screw in. Notice what happens right about here. Keep going. Oh, she did it so brilliantly. Oh, that looks great.
Oh shoot.
The thing that I was expecting to happen didn't happen.
For it to jump a little?
For it to get a gap in it.
Oh.
So now she's gonna line up the second part of it. Notice how there's a gap there at the bottom? There you go. She pushed that together. She's gonna push really hard against it to keep that gap tightened up. Make sure it's nice and flush and aligned. She's gonna work it together. See how the glue squished out right there at the end? That was perfect. Ooh, oh, she did it too hard.
Dang.
Okay, bring it around here and show them what happened there. So she got a little, the first one's perfect. Where'd it go? The first one's perfect. Notice how it's exactly flush with the surface. And then that last little squish at the end that she did, terrible camera operator here, it went way deep down in there. Don't do that. So when she does the next one, also to the other criticism is this isn't exactly flush right here.
Yeah.
This is really good. This is really good. This is the important part. This part is less critical, but ideally this would be perfectly flush all the way up and down on that joint, okay? So now she's gonna do the second half. When you get to the part where you're putting the screw in, let me show you, yeah. Before she puts glue on anything, she's gonna finger start these 2 screws so they're ready to go. When you're bringing that screw tight, make sure that it doesn't go past flush.
Okay.
And then I'll show you how to do the last little bit. I have a technique.
That's a better amount of glue, I think.
That's a good amount of glue. Any glue that squishes out is just wasted glue, but you want to make sure that the glue joint has glue all over the entire joint. So she's using her little brace block again. She's going to line everything up perfectly. In pre-COVID times, we would probably have you just working in groups of 2, and one of you would hold the board while the other one is putting the screws in. Look at this. She's doing it so well by herself. She's going nice and slow. She got it started. She didn't pull it tight. She's going to put the second screw in.
You were saying this is where you wanted me to stop?
Yeah, keep going.
Oh.
Get them almost flush. Just don't get them where you think they're tight, but if they're a little proud, meaning not quite flush, just stop there and I'll show you a trick. Oh, did you hear that one? Whoop at the end?
That one's flush now.
That's the really dangerous part. See how this one's just barely proud? Hand the screw down over here. See how this one's just barely proud? So as you're coming up on it, instead of what she did at the end when she pulled that trigger and went whoop and scared the crap out of everybody and had the accident there, keep the drill in there and just use it like a screwdriver and just twist it. See how I twisted it like a quarter of a turn and now it's perfectly flush without any drama. Okay? Now she's going to do the other side of put the other leg on. Here's your leg. She's going to put glue on both legs now. Notice how she put a whole bunch of glue on that one side. Now she's just going to transfer it over there. Transfer the extra over to the other side. She can use the bottle if she needs a little bit more. You think you got it good enough?
I think that's good.
Okay. And then she's going to start all the screws before she plunks it down in the glue.
You're right.
Put screws in all the holes. So it's one less step that she has to do while she's smearing it around in the glue. And now I think she's getting ready to make a really big mistake here. But we're just going to watch her do it and see what happens. So she started 4 screws.
Is it placement?
Just
So
keep,
you were talking about?
before you touch that to the glue, take a good look at what you're getting ready to do. Get it close. Put it up there. Get it. She put the screws in the wrong side.
Yeah, I did.
If I said that there wasn't every year at least one student
I forgot about my ex.
puts the second leg on backwards, upside down, wrong, some way. It's hilarious. I've seen them every way you can imagine. So she's going to line that up. She's going to worry about one side for the most part because you're probably not going to line both sides up perfectly. Don't worry about that second side. Just get one corner and get the screws in it first. And then we'll get the other side lined up. Okay?
Yeah.
moved your screw gun. So now she's gonna put those 2 screws in. Got that one started. Make sure it's all lined up good. Put the second one in. Still looking good.
Kind of jumped a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and this is the time to fix that. So if you can force it, I would tell you to get one close, whichever corner is closest, to get that screw closer to tight, like almost all the way down. And then I would take the other screw out and line it up a little bit better. You're gonna have a hard time though, because it'll wanna go right back in the old hole that it was in.
Yeah.
Line it up as best you can get it. Hold it as tightly as you can.
Do you see what I'm saying though?
Yep. We do have but yeah, go ahead and put that screw in there. Yeah, I would just pause there. Go ahead and get the other corner. So I have some tricks that we can do to help. She's not quite aligned over here, so we got some adjustments that we can make. But let's go ahead and get the other side, see if we can get it done. And notice how it's not quite lined up. So she's just kind of forcing it over there, because you know the wood is not perfectly straight. It always has some kind of defect to it. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but the leg that she's working on has a little cup to it. You're having trouble getting its place. There you go.
Yeah.
Look at all the pressure on those fingers. Look at all those white knuckles. You know, as they say, if force doesn't work, you're not using enough of it. Oh yeah, you've got a problem here. Yeah, I can feel that. Take that screw back out. Okay, now give it a go. Let's see what happens. Oh, much better. Okay, go ahead and pull that one most of the way down, this one. That's good for now. Now get that second one. I would say go ahead and go. That's good. That was perfectly flush. Now I would not screw that. I would just twist it. You can feel a little awkward. It'll make some creaking sounds. Your joints might pop. I would give it a little bit more, just another 1/8 of a turn, 1/4 of a turn. There you go. Perfect. Now over here on this side, we got problems. Sometimes you can just brute force it, but that's pretty far. So let's do this. Let's grab a clamp and just see what happens. Oh man, that's a lot of force. Okay, now put those screws in and see what happens. Yep. It's one of the advantages of using the soft wood like this pine is that it can move around a little bit. Responds to force. Okay, so hopefully we won't have to go through those kinds of efforts on all of them. That's pretty good. Okay, what's the next step?
We're gonna get the top.
We're gonna put it ugly side down.
Yeah.
And we're gonna position it on the top. There's not a dimension on the drawing that tells you this. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna grab the tape measure. She's gonna stick the tape measure under one end.
Like that, yeah?
Yep, you're gonna read the number off the tape measure. What's it say? Here, lock the tape measure here. Just lock it, there you go. Now, stick it under there. What's it say?
Like 1.25.
Okay, so now she's gonna take tape measure to the other end. And what's that dimension?
Much more than that.
And so what she's gonna do is she's just gonna keep measuring under each end, back and forth, until she has the exact same measurement on both ends. Minor adjustment, keep measuring.
Yeah.
Like it. Okay, so now she's gonna take her pencil. She's adjusted it a little bit, so now she's gonna double check it again. Minor adjustment. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to mark it on this side so they can see
Oh.
what you're doing. So now she's just gonna hold the top in place and she's gonna make 3 little marks, 3 little reference marks. So now we know where that top is. So now if we take the top off, ta-da, now put it back on there. And we can just line the marks right back up, and ba-bang, it's right back where it was supposed to be. Okay. So now you can turn around so you can see the marks. And then she's gonna take the top off and put glue everywhere. Again, too much glue is squirting out all over the place. Not enough glue is to not have a nice smooth bed of glue, layer of glue all over everything. It looks like a little thin, but she might be better than I thought. This glue is pretty non-toxic, and so, I mean, I wouldn't encourage you to eat it or drink it, but it probably wouldn't, if you drank enough of it or ate enough of it, it might make you sick, but it might kill you, I don't know, but
it's in such a nice container.
but yeah, it is in a syrup container. But yeah, getting it on your finger is not going to hurt you at all. It washes off nicely with soap and water. If you get it on your clothes, however, if you get it on your clothes, you better get it out while it's wet, because if you wait till it dries in your clothes, it is there forever.
Does that seem like a good enough?
It will come out when the natural fibers wear off, assuming your clothes are made of natural fibers. Yeah, so don't get this stuff on your clothes, and if you do get your stuff on your clothes, go get water and get it rinsed out really fast. Okay, so now she's made all that. She's going to hold it up there. She's going to turn the board around so she can see her reference marks. There you go. She's going to hold that side down and line the reference marks up before she plops it down in the glue. And then she's going to tip it down into the glue. And it's probably going to move around a little bit, but, you know, not too much. But the idea is that you don't put it down and then slide it over a half an inch and smear your glue all over the place. And now she's going to take a bunch of screws and the screwdriver, screw gun, and put screws in. Now, here's another one. So you'll notice that the leg is at a 10-degree angle. And even though we drilled our drill bit straight up and down, it's pretty soft board. So I would tell her to put just at a little bit of an angle. What happens is students do this, and then their screw has blown out on the inside of the bench. So yeah, just put a bit of an angle on it there. Did you see how it straightened up a little bit? It followed the hole. Perfect. Nice. And now she's just going to work around and putting all 8 screws in. Oh, look at that. The glue's squirting out just perfectly right here on this side.
That turned the wrong way.
Yeah. Hope it didn't blow out on the inside.
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, it's doing it on this side too.
The creaking. What was it doing?
The
Oh, the glue is squirting out. That's perfect. Not a ton of glue, but just a little bit, right?
yeah.
It's good to see the glue squirting out just a little bit, because that means you know that you've got plenty in there. But any that comes out is just wasted, and so the less that comes out, the better off you are. So now we've got it all put together. Let's inspect it. There's a little bit of glue here. Just run your finger along in there. Wipe that. It'll shrink and go away for the most part, but if you leave big globs of it on there, it'll dry and look bad. So you're just gonna run your finger along those edges as tightly as you can in those corners. Notice we got some on the inside here too. Just gonna wipe as much of that off as we can. Perfect, look, it's a bench. Now the last set is to set, it's a little bit wobbly, and so we'll talk about, we'll adjust that later. We'll do that in person as on an as needed basis. The last step that you, as the student, need to, oh look, she's gonna stand on it. Ta-da! I would not give it heavy use until after, for an hour or so, until the glue has dried. Take about an hour or so. But you're gonna write your name on it. You're gonna take a selfie with it, or some kind of portrait, I don't care. And then you're gonna upload that to the Canvas assignment. That's all I know. Good luck, and we'll see you in class.